Imagine getting a jump start to your long weekend only to discover the driver next to you on the highway appears to be reclined and asleep at the wheel. That was the reality for one woman who took a now widely shared video on the QEW. But some questions are being raised about whether or not this could even be possible.
My partner saw what looked like a car with nobody in it. And then he looked again and he saw that it was just a really reclined seat. There was somebody there with his eyes closed.
Louise Lesser and her partner were heading to the U.S. on Friday, going about 110 kilometers per hour when they pulled up next to a white Tesla and began capturing this video.
I've seen that highway go from 100 to 0 in like 5 seconds. That highway is notorious for backup traffic and slamming on brakes. And knowing that not only was he not paying attention to what his car was doing, but he wasn't paying attention to the surroundings.
She says they didn't call police for help because they weren't sure if they should be calling the emergency line or not, and thought they might be asked to follow the vehicle. So we asked OPP about that. Sergeant Carrie Schmidt says you would be asked for your location, but there is no obligation to follow.
If someone sees an impaired driver, they're going to call 911 so fast. And if someone sees an unconscious driver, I would expect they would be doing the same thing.
But is it possible for someone to drive an autonomous vehicle while they're asleep? According to Tesla's website, the autopilot function in one of its cars will deliver an escalating series of visual and audio warnings, reminding you to place your hands on the wheel. If you repeatedly ignore these warnings, you will be locked out from using autopilot during that trip.
I've actually driven in an autopiloted vehicle in the past, and it is fascinating technology, and you can go hands-off on a vehicle for a certain amount of time, but it will start to alert and warn and ask for drivers' inputs after a short distance.
U of T professor Ofer Barron is an autonomous vehicle expert. He says while technology is advancing, our roads just aren't ready for fully driverless cars.
If we go and I want to see how my car reacts and I sit and I lift the wheel and I let it drive, but I'm kind of in control, there is sort of one thing. But, falling asleep at 100 kilometers per hour, that just putting too much risk on others.
Police say until autonomous vehicle legislation changes, all drivers are responsible to be alert and must be able to take full control of their vehicle at a moment's notice. Reporting in Toronto, I'm Leah Johansen, City News.